Somewhere outside almost every town in America, there's a rusty metal tower standing in the middle of a field, a backyard, or the corner of a farm. Most people drive past it every day and never think about it twice. But somewhere, someone is getting a check every single month, just because that tower happens to be standing on their land. It sounds too simple to be real, but it is. Here's how it actually works. Cell carriers like Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile don't want to own land. They want coverage. So instead of buying property, they sign a lease with whoever already owns it, paying rent for the right to place equipment on a small patch of ground, sometimes as small as a parking space. Most landowners never even know the offer is coming. A carrier's site acquisition team simply finds land in the right spot based on signal coverage gaps and knocks on the door. Here's the part almost nobody knows. A single cell site is rarely leased to just one carrier. Once a tower is built, other carriers often pay to add their own equipment to the exact same structure. This is called co-location, and it means the landowner isn't collecting one lease check. In many cases, they're collecting 3 or 4, from 3 or 4 different companies, all paying for the same patch of dirt. Base lease rates for a single carrier typically fall between $1,000 and $2,000 a month. But once co-location kicks in, that number can quietly climb past $5,000 a month for a piece of land the owner isn't even using. And there's another detail most landowners never think to ask about. Almost every cell tower lease includes an escalation clause, usually 2 to 3% every year, sometimes higher. That means the check doesn't just stay the same. It grows automatically year after year for the entire life of the lease, which can run 25 years or longer. 25 years of rising passive income from a plot of land the owner was probably already paying taxes on anyway. Now here's where it gets interesting and where most people make a costly mistake. Lease aggregator companies exist entirely to find landowners with cell tower leases and offer them a lump sum buyout. They'll show up with a check for $200,000 and offer to buy the entire lease outright, forever. It sounds like a windfall. Most people take it. But here's the hidden math they don't explain. These companies calculate the buyout using a multiple of current annual rent, often between 12 and 20 times the yearly payment. Meaning, if a landowner is earning $15,000 a year, a buyout of $200,000 might actually be worth less than what they'd collect over the full life of the lease, especially once escalation clauses and future co-location deals are factored in. The landowner isn't selling a check. They're selling every future increase, every future carrier that adds equipment, and every renewal for the next quarter century, often for a fraction of its true value. This is exactly why companies like American Tower and Crown Castle exist. These are publicly traded companies worth tens of billions of dollars, and their entire business model is built on quietly acquiring these lease rights from individual landowners who didn't realize what they were actually sitting on. The tower itself isn't the asset. The location is. And that location is about to become even more valuable. As carriers roll out 5G, they don't just need fewer, bigger towers. They need more of them, smaller cell sites spaced closer together, especially in suburban and rural areas that were never fully covered before. Every one of those sites needs land, and every one of those landowners has no idea a knock on the door might be coming. Owning a cell tower lease isn't glamorous. There's no building to manage, no employees to hire, no customers to serve. The landowner does nothing except let a small piece of ground do the work for them. But that's exactly why so few people talk about it. It doesn't look like a business. It looks like nothing happening at all, which might be the most valuable kind of business there is. The kind that quietly works while everyone else is too busy building something bigger to notice the money sitting in their own backyard.